To open session approximately 6:10. F, announcement taken in closed session, none. G, presentations, G1 CIF athletes.
Good evening. So today is one of those special nights where we announce the successes of our athletic teams, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our baseball team. So if we can have the baseball coach here, if he's here, Mr. Gutierrez, right? So I'm going to have him be accompanied by the following students. And we have Victor Bejarano, Eric Rojo, Angel Cano. You can all line up here if you wish. Up here is fine. Angel Cano, Isaiah Carrillo, Mario Garcia, Steve Torres, Robert Muñoz, Luis Gracia, José Naín Vázquez, Mikey Iqueda, Joanthony Galaviz, Víctor Félix, Adrián Acuña, Josh Rodríguez, and Jerry Fregoso. And our coach will share a few words about the successes of his team this year.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for making it today to celebrate our success. This year, the baseball team worked very, very hard, and even though there were many challenges, the team came through and became a symbol of excellence, became a symbol of hope for the city of Calexico. The team fought to the very, very end in the championship game against Brawley, and we had a 10 wins, 2 losses record at the end, and we are looking forward to next season. We have a great group of young men coming in next year, and we are a very young team, and I'm excited for next season. We will be working very hard as we are approaching the next season. We have with us great players, great young men that work very hard to making sure that this season was a success. Credit goes to our players, to our athletes that worked very hard. Amongst us, we have significant players such as Victor Bejarano. Victor, can you show? Victor Bejarano was the MVP. He batted over 500 this year. We have to his left. That means that Victor Bejarano, every time he was at the plate, every time he had a bat, half of that time he got on base with a base hit, a walk, he hustled, and he gave us an opportunity every time at the plate. To his left, we have Eric Rojo. Eric Rojo became our Rookie of the Year. As a freshman, our starting shortstop. A very, very dedicated and committed player, and we are looking forward to his growth and his development in our baseball program this upcoming years. We also have Nain Vasquez. Nain Vasquez, our pitcher of the year, arguably the best pitcher in the league. We are very, very lucky to have, and as you are graduating this year, Nain, I'm looking forward to hearing great things from you as you are growing and reaching for the stars. To his right, we also have another senior graduating. We have Robbie Munoz. Robbie, I just have a lot of respect for you. You're an amazing leader. You brought a lot of potential, and you made it come through. We also have Iqueda, a leader in the team, on and off the field. And these are significant seniors that demonstrated their leadership, as well as Steve Torres. Steve Torres and Robbie Munoz. Steve and both of these guys, when one guy was on base, the other guy was getting on base as well. These guys were just, it was influential. Whatever one guy would do, the other guy just happened. So I am honored and pleased to have served alongside with these young men, and I'm looking forward to a great season next year. Your 2017 Calexico Bulldogs.
Congratulations to our baseball team.
If you
We
wanna
need you to get
come
together
around.
for a picture with your coach. And after your picture, please don't leave. Our staff has set up a nice little reception for you in the building next door. You'll get some food and wonderful stuff out there. So, do you want them behind you?
Doesn't matter. Well,
So our next team to be recognized this evening is our tennis team. So is our tennis coach here? Yes, he is. Mr. Xavier Rodriguez. And I have the team come up here: Alejandro Cota, Ismael Arbizu, Diego Gallego, Christopher Lopez, Diego Ramos, Sebastián Medrano, José Chao, Sebastián Vizcarra, Iván Rodríguez, Juan Gutiérrez, Francisco Medina, and Kevin Lee.
Hello? Oh, I don't know if I had to push a button here. It says push. I'd also like to welcome Mr. David Castellum, incredible coach. He was actually my coach back when I was in high school. Standing right there, the handsome man right there. I actually didn't know I was going to speak, but luckily I always have at least a 27-minute speech I can give. So if you guys don't, is that okay? No, I'll try to keep it quick. But, first off, I want to thank everybody here for being here to support our athletes, not just my tennis team, but everybody else as well. What we do is always for these kids. All the sacrifices that we make is because they inspire us to do everything we can for them, because they put their hearts and soul into everything that they do. And one thing that every coach here can attest to is that what keeps us coming back are these kids. What keeps us coming back is the fact their blood, literally their blood sometimes, their sweat, their tears, everything that they do. I've been very lucky to have had a great coach coach me back in my day, and he's continued to help me coach, and I think he still does most of the work. And to have great kids that go on to UCs and some of the top schools in the country, and the one thing that is always common is their incredible amount of hard work. Every single one of these guys picked up a racket late, and they go off and they compete with some of the top athletes, and not just Southern California, but they compete against, just at CIF, they got a chance to compete against the #2 player in the nation. That was fun. But they didn't get scared. They took the opportunity and they did everything they could to try to beat them. And that speaks to the perseverance of every, not just athlete, but student at Calexico High School. We don't get scared. We don't get scared. We rise to the occasion, and we do everything that we can to compete and to impress everyone around us. And these guys do it every single day, whether it's in practice or at school or at a match. And you know, the incredible amount of potential that they have, not just in life, but the standard that they have set for everybody that's going to come after them, I'm incredibly impressed by and proud. And I know everybody else that has ever seen them. And the best thing about them is everywhere we go, everybody remembers the name Calexico. And when they go off to university, we've actually had this happen before, where kids will say, you know what, they see a kid wearing a Calexico High School shirt and they go, you know what, I have never been to your school, but I know that name, and I know you guys have a great program, and that great program is because of kids like these. So thank you guys, and thank you everyone. I still have 14 minutes.
I believe these cups can be used for both cold and hot liquids. So,
Everything these kids do is hot. so
team
it
picture,
works.
please. Team picture. Congratulations to our tennis team. Thank you. And the next team to be recognized this evening is our track and field team. So if we can have the track coach.
No, no.
She's not here? Okay. So Mr. Lopez will talk about the track team. And we're going to call them up. We're going to start with Amanda Tamayo, Iran Alvarez, Aida Villaseñor, Sofía López, Maya Castillo, Arlette Escoto, Kimberly Kilps, Kayla Rubio, Alfredo Soria, Nicholas Jimenez, Gaisca Torres, Manuel Vázquez, Luis Andrade, Luis Mesa, Devin Avila, and Alfredo Vega.
Go down. Sorry. Yeah.
Jesse Martinez,
Yeah. Okay.
Edgar Hurtado. They're not on my list. Sorry, they weren't on my list.
As you can see, this is part of our track team for this year, for 2017. It does not represent the whole team. These are the athletes that qualified for CIF because of their time qualifying here in the Imperial Valley. These are the athletes that compete in San Diego at the CIF finals and so forth. This team has waited for so long to have a brand new track, and they waited patiently, and I kept always telling them, not today yet, not today, but they patiently waited for the track meet to be open, and when it finally was, you can always go out there and you will find that our track team usually has about 80 to 90 members, just because it's just a sport that attracts a lot of kids throughout the school. And for this team, we always get these kids that are very committed to the program. Mr. Vega, again, one of our soccer players, a great leader, and one of our seniors. Maya Castillo, another great senior who's going to leave us here, and she has waited for so long, 4 years on the varsity team, and now she has her track. And bad thing is that now it's a beautiful field and they're not going to experience this, but I know, and I told them, you're going to get to run on it one time, and they did. We have a couple freshmen who are sophomores here, I'm sorry, that again are keeping the tradition going. And I can see the program getting bigger and bigger, and we have the numbers for track and field, and this is just a small sample of the players that we have that are competing at high level. Mr. Soria won field Soria, right? He got the male athlete field events of the year for the Imperial Valley for the shot put, and also yeah. So he was the IVL field event, right? Is that what it is? I'm not sure the correct title. So again, there's a couple people missing here that I don't see, but Kimberly Kelps qualified for CIF in the 100 hurdles. Very great job. She's also a senior. So we do have a lot of great athletes here on our track team, and we always have a great amount of students there participating. All right? Thank you very much.
So one picture, please. All right, thank you. Congratulations to our track team. And last but definitely not the least, softball, our coach, Mr. Nieblas. And we're going to start with Danielle Burgos, Sahara Norman, Andrea Quiroz, Jesse Hernandez, Nicole Moran, Alexis Noriega, Natalie Lopez, Lisbeth Vasquez, Michelle Roldan, Kayla Cornejo, Brianna Amparano, Diana Ortiz, Lynette Niebla, Estefanía Caballero, Luan Gutierrez, Brianali Martinez, Adelie Medina, and Andrea Pineda.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Coach Niebla. You see these girls up here, and it's amazing what they've been doing with the game of softball. These girls this year played in Division I. If you know about how they rank the divisions, Division I is the top of the top. It's in San Diego section. We play the toughest competition. We play the toughest teams. We play the so-called powerhouses out there. And these girls competed very well all year. What I do want to say is some of these girls, they're part of that Division II championship. Okay, so that was the first time in Calexico history, and that achievement right there itself speaks a lot about players like Danielle Burgos, Nicole Moran, who was part of that group. So if we would give a round of applause to these two young ladies. That itself was a great accomplishment. Moving forward next year, I mean, these girls just set the standard really high. So we're going to keep working. We're going to keep improving. And with the help of administration, the maintenance keeps our fields safe. We're going to continue with this program and its success. Thank you very much. Ahora sí. Ciro, thank you so much.
Congratulations to our softball team as well. So we'll invite all of the athletes and their coaches to go next door to the PLC, and they have a small reception waiting for you there. So congratulations.
Go.
finishing his EMT course.
He'll press the play for the video, okay? YouTube video, is that all right? Yeah, that's fine. We have it. We have everything for it. So I'll speak for about a couple of minutes and then I'll introduce you. Do I introduce you or both of you? Okay. So Stephanie. Just wait for her till I call your name. That way everybody will see you when I call you. Yeah, yeah, stand. You'll stand from here. Sí, pero primero voy a presentar y luego ya, o ya cuando veas que yeah, yeah, it'll probably be a few minutes because they're doing a presentation first. Sí. You can probably get it from that angle porque va a ir para allá y se va a colgar de ahí. Okay? Do we start or? Go ahead. Are they ready? Yeah. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board, members of the audience. It is my pleasure to introduce or begin the presentation to introduce our CHS robotics team. Just to share the story of how we got here. About 4 years ago, while I still was serving as elementary school principal at Jefferson, I had the privilege and the honor of attending a training at a high-tech high in San Diego. And among the many wonderful things that we saw there, we saw that they had a FIRST robotics team and got to witness firsthand just the benefits that their students were receiving in careers in engineering through that program. And I remember leaving thinking, our Calexico students deserve this. The following year, in a new role, still having that fresh in my mind, I was very fortunate that the wheels that job in reality became a lot easier when Mr. Luis Garcia, where's Mr. Garcia? Mr. Luis Garcia, math teacher at Calexico High School, reached out, approached me, and said, I have an interest in bringing FIRST Robotics to Calexico. And he definitely, as talking to him, I had never met him before, found out that he was very talented, very knowledgeable, perfect candidate to get it going. We approached his principal, Ms. Williams, who's been tremendously supportive. And then the last step was recruiting that gentleman over there, Mr. Mario Magallanes, science teacher, wealth of experience in STEM from Calexico High School as well. Big round of applause to both of the teachers. I am in awe of these gentlemen and what they know with computer program. I'm jealous of the knowledge that they have. But even more in awe of their knowledge, their commitment, and now I want to talk about our students. So to explain just how phenomenal and the commitment that our students and teachers have shown, the FIRST Robotic Tournament begins on the same day for all people competing in the regional area, which in this case was San Diego. Everybody's there on a Saturday. Everybody gets a video and a big assembly, and they all get their robot kit. From there, 6 weeks sets in motion. Everyone has 6 weeks to take a basic part of robots, and then they can purchase more to a certain limit, and they get to work for 6 weeks to design, for able to compete to all the tasks that everybody is given at the same time. And so that means if you want to compete and do well, you got to be there on Saturday, you got to be there on Sunday. When we had the Monday holidays on February, they were there on Mondays as well, and it was tremendously impressive, not only how well in their first year, how well they committed and got to it and got a competing robot, and I think they did phenomenal for their first year, and I look forward to seeing this program grow and grow more and benefiting Calexico High School students. So again, my pleasure, my honor. We're going to begin with a presentation. My honor to introduce you to Stephanie and Lillian. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Good evening. I'm here as a member of FIRST Robotics of our team Unimatics. Our team number is 6515. That's our whole number within our region, and we're giving a small presentation based on what we've accomplished throughout this year. Our first video would be that of what our task was for this year, and if you could please play it.
Welcome to the FIRST Robotics competition and the 2017 game, FIRST Steamworks! 2 adventurer clubs, alliances of 3 teams each, prepare for a long-distance airship race by collecting fuel to build steam pressure, installing gears to engage rotors, and climbing aboard for liftoff. The airship best prepared for flight when the launch timer reaches 0 wins. Matches begin with robots touching their Alliance station wall. Teams may preload up to 10 fuel elements and 1 gear on each robot. Fuel is available in hoppers placed around the perimeter of the field. Additional fuel and gears are available at the Alliance loading station. During the first 15 seconds of the match, the robots are autonomous. They work to reach their baseline, score fuel in the boiler, or deliver gears to the airship. During the following 2-minute and 15-second teleoperated period, human drivers remotely control their robots. They continue to gather fuel from the field and the hoppers to score in the boilers. They also collect and deliver more gears. Human players located behind the Alliance station wall deliver gears and recycled fuel to robots through the loading stations. Steam pressure builds as fuel is added to the boilers. The high boiler produces more steam per unit of fuel than the low boiler. The more fuel scored in the boiler, the higher the steam pressure climbs. Alliances earn points for the amount of steam pressure built, and pressure over a certain level earns an additional bonus. Each airship has 4 rotors with some gears missing. Oh dear. Gears delivered to the airship lifts are retrieved by the airship pilots, who then place them in the gear train to engage and spin up the rotors. Each rotor requires an increasing number of gears to become engaged. Points are awarded for each airship rotor turning by the end of the match. Airships spinning all 4 rotors also earn an additional bonus. Towards the end of each match, pilots deploy ropes for their robots to climb aboard. Alliances earn points for each robot secured aboard the airship by the end of the match. Be prepared. It takes time for the boilers to process fuel for the airships. Fuel put in the boiler near the very end of the match may not get processed before the airship takes off. The alliance with the highest score at the end of the match earns the win. Ready your robot, fly your banner, and prepare to take flight with this year's first robotics competition, First Steamworks! Ha ha!
Thank you. That is our video task. That video, aside from a quite large rule book, is all we are given to discover how we want to accomplish all these things. The next video we have would be kind of a speed-sided video of our experience.
It's a video. It's so broken.
That is a quick video of our first competition, and I know you saw some extremely impressive bots there compared to ours, but within time, surely, as our club develops, our robot as well could look as impressive. The First Robotics believes in gracious professionalism and cooperation with hopes for teamwork as well as success in future. Next up, we will have examples of our first graduate class of First Robotics. These are all students who plan to pursue higher education in other STEM-based majors, majority being engineering. First up, we have Alfio Ibarra, who is going to the University of San Diego.
And he's going to be computer science and engineering.
Next is Gaston Ramiro, and he's going to the University of California, Irvine.
He's going to pursue the career of computer science.
Angel Rodriguez, who's going to Chico State.
Also computer science.
Tristan Moncada, going to the University of San Diego.
Going for physics.
Javier Andrade.
Going for Chico and going for mechanical engineering.
Juan Gutierrez.
Going for University of California, San Diego and mechanical engineering.
Jose Acosta.
Going for the California State University, Chico, mechatronics.
Eric Montoya.
Going for San Diego State University, electrical engineering.
Joseph Felix,
Going for Imperial Valley College pre-engineering.
Miguel Lopez,
Going also for Imperial Valley College pre-engineering.
Mia Conder,
Going for the California State University Chico and civil engineering.
Jose Samano,
Going for California State University Chico Mechatronics.
and lastly, Diego Ramos.
Going for the University of California San Diego Electrical Engineering.
Next up, we would like to speak about how our first FCR 2017 robotics season first went. These are a few pictures of us working within the room in De Anza. For the season breakdown, we're going to talk about the start of the season, building process, a quick overview of the bag and tag competitions, and things we hope for next year. To start off the season, we would all have to go to our San Diego presentation, in which we are given the task video as shown before and a rule book, which we have read to make sure that there's no accidents in the future. And during that 6 weeks, we had to make a building pier to anything on top of the base, which we would refer to as our gearbox, our rope climber, and our ball dispenser. The building process, the first task we had to consider would be what we'd like to focus on. Our main focus in the beginning would have been throwing and picking up balls to gain points as said and so in the video. We had to design with that, in which we used a pneumatically based piston to lift up a board, as well as a front part drop down, and with gravity have the balls go forward and into our oven chute. Sadly, that had to be removed in order for we could have more efficiently gear gain-ins. Next to that would be our gearbox, aka also a net sort of, in which we would have, that's the gray thing in the front, slightly damaged. It would have be dropped off by dispenser, hopefully well angled into it, in which we would drive by carefully to deliver onto a peg, which would then be lifted up by a member called a pilot, which would be on top of a stand. And then our rope climber, which is I feel what we're most proud about, which is a climber in the front, which has a Velcro strap onto it, and then would climb that one rope right there on the quiet rod with the velvet base on it. Next for the competition, I hope for Lilia Guerra to be explaining that.
Well, hello. Well, the competition was hosted in Del Mar Arena for the 11th Annual San Diego Calcom Regional 2017. And as you notice, students have been working in the stations from 8 to 12 hours. This is usually from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., which is quite a long of time. Also, the team was able to take only 20 out of 40 or around 40 club members. Calexico Pneumatics placed 35th out of 64 teams, which is personally, it's a great achievement knowing that we start pretty late and because basically it's our first year. Also, the alliances had to be made in order for teams to create strategies to best complete a task to gain points, meaning that alliances consisted of teams of 3, so we had to go to other teams and know their strong points and see who we would ally with to get to go up on our places or to see who could come in with the best place. Next one.
And overall, it's easily said the competition did give the whole group which went there a good experience on how real-life problem-solving for last-second events could help, such as multiple malfunctions we had in our bot. And there were some problems we ran into the season. It being our first year, we had a grave lack of material, which kind of put us back in like actual building for a good 2 to 3 weeks before we could get actual materials approved and start setting up. We had multiple problems when it came to understanding the gadgets, which also had us lag behind a bit on what could have been, but we do have plans to solve that by starting this club early within the year and practicing on multiple bots. Aside from that, the lack of materials also affected the experience of multiple kids who had joined the club, such being we would have our 40 members, but realistically on a bot, you can't have 40 members working at the same time. So you do your best to divide the work, but even then, it would be nearly impossible to have 40 people still doing a task on a simple single robot, in which we have using this robot as well as other bot ones, other kits to help give other people the experience, and from there work a lot more in unison to be able to get more stable design. And also, the unorganized we had as a first year really did affect us, but once again, starting next year, we plan to have a much more stable beginning. And this is the picture of the team who had gone to the 11th Annual San Diego Qualcomm Regionals 2017. We would like to say thank you to Mr. Padilla, Ms. Williams, Mrs. Ambres, all the CUSD board member, and especially our advisors, Mr. Magallanes and Mr. Garcia, for actually allowing us to have such an amazing club be part of us. And all the members who were to make it today, which would be Alan Arce, Arlette, Christian, Felix, Jose, Juan, Diego, Fletes, and then Eric all the way at the end. Next, we'd like to talk about experiences that we had.
Okay, someone get like from the two sides, please.
Ask if they have any questions. Say thank you. Answer the questions.
Also, we're gonna give our experiences. All right, as for now, quite adorable, right? As for now, we're gonna give each other our experiences, the whole team, and after that, if you have any questions, we're gonna gladly respond, me and Stephanie. For me, my experience was rather amusing. I mean, I didn't expect this. I personally like robots, but during the first weeks, again, like since it was 40 people or more, not everyone could work on the robot. I had to personally work on different parts, such as the bumpers, just to secure the robot from protecting itself from hitting itself with other robots. It was quite intense, honestly, when we went to competition. Also, after that, well, we had to basically learn how to use power tools, which was quite interesting. I mean, you don't expect that. Breaking the stereotype, I guess. That's pretty nice. After that, well, I would say that the 6 weeks were pretty intense. They were pretty intense. Like they said, we were here from, let's say, Saturday, Monday, Sunday. You don't want to be here on Sunday, honestly. You don't want to be at school. You probably want to be resting, right? After that, well, yeah, a bunch of sleep at night. It does take a toll on how you do, like, your schoolwork. That's being honest right now. Because, I mean, that is a lot of work. That's why everyone works together. That's my personal experience, right? Anyways, after that, I personally enjoyed going to competition. We met people from other countries too. We met people from Turkey, from states, other states too, like Colorado, maybe from Nevada also, and as well from Germany. It was honestly, and we basically interacted with their cultures. That was personally one of the most amazing experiences I ever felt, because not only that, I made friends. And well, that's basically all I have to say. It was amazing. I spent with 3 days with my friends here, and I am glad I joined the program.
Good evening, and first of all, what I want to say is that as president of this group, I was very honored to have worked with such amazing people, because I realized that after all the problems we had, we're still able to overcome those obstacles as working as a team, and I'm just proud of us and how we did it, and it wasn't possible without the help of you guys and Mr. Magallanes and Mr. Garcia, and I'm just really thankful for that, and I hope we can still have your support for next year and for years to come. Thank you.
I'm very new to robotics, just joining at the very end of this year, and I just expect a lot for this year and learning basically everything related to robotics, such as design, computer programming, and mechanics.
Good afternoon. This is my first year, and for some time I was the only freshman there. So it was kind of scary for some time, but these people were very welcoming, very warm-hearted, and they helped me through so much. And even though we had a lot of problems, we were still there for each other, and we got through them together as a team. And for this year, I expect the same, because they are great students and great people and very helpful. So I hope we have the same experience this year. Thank you.
Hello. So, in my experience, the competition at first it was a little intimidating, especially since we had people coming from everywhere, and they had all these fancy banners and it was like this professional robots all painted and everything. But as a team, we stayed confident, and everyone turned out to be really friendly. And overall, it was a fun experience, and I'd like to do it again.
My name is Joseph Felix, the programmer. Uh, it was very good to have a real-world experience in the programming field. It's very good to have practice in school, but you never get to actually use the things you do in school, only problem-solving books and exercises. I think the very best thing of this is actually putting those things you learn in school into real-world use. Oh, I'm a man of very, very short words, so yeah, that's it.
Hello, my name is Jose, and I'm glad that I was part of the robotics team this year, and I'm happy because I was able to meet a lot of new people, and I learned a lot from this experience. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Juan, and through this experience, I got to collaborate with a lot of people, and for the first time, I got to work hands-on on something this amazing since I want to become a mechanical engineer, and I'm just thankful for all your support through this program. Thank you very much.
Good evening, my name is Diego Ramos, and what I learned from this experience is something I never imagined, because I learned I got to meet a lot of people and made a lot of new friends, and actually since I want to become an electrical engineer, this is actually like a really good insight on what being an engineer is. You have to work in a team. Everybody has to do their part, and you have to work in like with limited resources, limited time, and having those problems like only made us better, especially for next year, because the first year is always going to be hard, and I have confidence that next year is going to be better because we're going to be better prepared. We're actually going to have materials. We're going to plan better, and it was also the first year for our coaches, our mentors. I know they learned from the experience as well, and they're going to do great things next year and for years to come. And for future generations, this is going to be a great club, and I'm proud of this club because this club is going to represent all the people who want to be in the STEM field, especially engineering and computer science. And I just want to let you guys know that this one was a really great experience. I am glad I joined this club, and I got to thank Mr. Garcia for this experience. Thank you. Oh, and Mr. Magallanes for being my mentor.
My name is Eric, and first of all, I want to thank all of those that supported the team, the club, because it was really hard for being our first time. The experience was really good. I love to work with new people and get hands-on experience with a robot because I'm going into electrical engineering, and it was a really fun experience being over there at the competition because you get to speak with other people that share the common interests with us, and it was a really nice thing to do. Unfortunately, it's my last year as in high school, but I hope I can continue doing stuff like this in university. Thank you.
Once again, I would like to thank all of you for allowing the school to have such an amazing club and for giving us all an unforgettable experience. And we hope that there's multiple years to come in which we can still have your support and gratitude while we move forward to become future successful engineers and other STEM-based majorists.
Any questions from the board?
Who's coming back next year? Okay, so who are seniors? Raise your hand if you're seniors. Oh, okay. All right. Well, ni modo. But the rest of you guys are coming back next year, right? So, I think you have, I think that we speak for everybody when I said that you won't have the support of the board, because this is the future. Okay, and the more that you guys do it, the more that we will feel that we have helped you prepare for the future. So anytime that you got any needs, any trouble, you know where to come.
Okay. Any more questions? No? Wait. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Make a spin, make a spin.
You're welcome to drive it if you like.
No, no. I'll crash it.
They give us a basic kit, and we go from there. So that right there is about $34,000. The brain is $500. This year we got a grant. We got a grant for most of it because we're a first year team, and Mr. Padilla from his budget paid the other $2,000 in the bar. So it's $6,000 a year, which is substantial competition. But they put in over 200 hours in 6 weeks. They did an amazing job. I mean, they made fun of what they called their box, but when they went out there, they saw the fancier robots, but their box did better than the fancier robots. And just to see the change in them, seeing them believe in themselves, excellent experience. Did a great job. Thank you for everything. Appreciate it.
Aldo. Luis, gracias. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. We'll continue with the meeting. H, public hearings. H1, the Board of Education will conduct a public hearing to allow the public input regarding the district's proposed draft local and control and accountability plan, LCAP, for 2017-2018.
If I may approach in regards to the LCAP, it is great to see the support for the CTE courses in your Goal 3. There's support for CTE teachers to purchase materials, and we also look forward to utilizing LCAP funds to be able to do similar things to this. Anytime we're able to take students to travel outside of Calexico to go to competitions in nearby counties, or even the FFA state conference or FFA multiple competitions. And it's been very helpful in the past 2 years as a CTE teacher to be able to count on the funds, the LCAP funds, to support our curriculum and the purchase of materials. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Romo. Any other comments, remarks? H2, the Board of Education will conduct a public hearing to allow public input regarding the district proposed budget for 2017-2018. Do we have any remarks, concerns? Okay, we go on. I, comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any item of district business that is not on the agenda. So, here we go. You're not going to invite them? Okay. All right. First, request for oral communication, Veronica Torres. Okay. Next request, Slater. M8.
That's the salary kit.
All right, well, first, I'd like to make note, I spoke a little earlier about the situation we're in, negotiations of salaries for teachers and people in the district. And I find it really interesting that, to my knowledge and recollection, and I've been here a while, this is the first time we've ever settled administrative salaries prior to teachers settling in the district. And it seems odd that all of a sudden, and we have a superintendent that got a big raise, and which I'm not saying they shouldn't get them. It just, she got hers, and now this other administrators, all of a sudden, they've got this 6.7% raise out of God knows where, because all we've heard is there's no money, and we've been battling back and forth on, or negotiating, I should say, it's not battle, to get the money for the teachers. It just doesn't sound right. There's something else going on, and I don't know what it is. But I'm sure that there's something else behind the scenes that's working that stinks. It doesn't make sense. The Me Too clauses that we have in our contracts and all that, it just does not appear to be legitimate. So I'm glad they're getting it, and I hope it's a rainbow out there that's going to come to us in that. But I expect that down the line, let's see what happens. Like I said, it doesn't make sense. Never seen it before, because it always be with the Me Too clauses. It's what everybody else gets is lines on us. So enough said on that.
Thank you, Ms. Senator. Excuse me, Mr. Slater, you have another one for L1? Yeah. And that is the Verizon.
I put that in there because I thought Verizon might be making a presentation, or there's going to be information out there on this. However, I have had contact with situations with Verizon putting in towers, and less than positive. My sister, our family up in Alaska, have a place. She has a place there, and they live out in a nice big area that's all divided out. And you know, it's an all for one and one for all type thing. You like to think about community and everybody working together. But there's one individual in there that sold out to Verizon, and he allowed them to put on the back part of his lot, clear in the back, the Verizon tower. And he was a lawyer, and he made this agreement to do this. And even though the whole community around him fought it, you know, we don't stand up well against big corporations. And what she has now sitting in front of her, right straight out her picture frame window, she looks at this huge fence concrete tower that goes up 100 feet in the air. You've seen them. And my point is this, that if we're going to do something, since I don't know what the presentation is, but if we're going to deal with Verizon, and we're going to allow them to put stuff on our school grounds and stuff, it should be lucrative, and it should be agreed upon by people surrounding, so people don't have to look at something that's not really picturesque, to say the least. Because in past, what I've seen, these people deal in less than ethical manners when they're dealing with their cell phone towers. So if our district is going to go into that, from that standpoint, I'd like to see that, you know, we're not imposing on other people, and it should be lucrative for us, because they make a lot of money on those things.
Thank you, Mr. Slater. Next request, Robert Tavares.
I want to waive my right to speak so I can give it to Mr. Guzman. Is that okay?
He also has one here.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
okay.
he was supposed
So
to
he's going to go.
right? Yeah.
All right. So Mr. Guzman is taking.
Okay, so name's Ricky Guzman. Been teaching here 11 years. Coach baseball 6 years. Head varsity coach for basketball 1 year, and 2 years assistant varsity football coach. I've got some athletic concerns that I'd like to share with you guys. As you guys know, there was a CIF investigation regarding implementation of probation during the spring. We have a general board policy through the California School Board Association, which is a policy that over 1,000 schools have here in California. We have a very I would call it vague and dispirited ruling. And I'm just going to read a couple points about that. CIF, it states that a school separated into 2 different semesters, each having 2 school-wide progress reporting periods at the end of a semester grading period. Athletic eligibility is determined at the end of each grading period. So in other words, our school policy under Regulation 6145A says when a student's ineligible to participate, all that needs to happen is that the principal or a designee needs to contact the parent and notify the kid, and therefore they're eligible. And the 6-week grading periods have no reason to check grades, according to our Regulation 6145A. So in the report back from CIF, there was obviously it was clear there was multiple students that achieved below a 2.0 that were playing, but however, all students were granted academic probation and allowed to continue to participate in CIF games. Okay. CIF gave a ton of recommendations that our standards for probationary period be consistent, transparent, and granting academic probation. And it said to include minimum GPA, length of probation, number of times students been granted probation. It also could include documents signed by parent, which typically happens when they sign athletic packets, rosters of students on probation for each grading period, and lastly, it talks about developed by athletic administration with eligibility status of each roster team member with GPA recorded at all school-wide grading periods. That's always been the case. When I coached here in 2006, every 6-week grading period mattered. Okay, probation was around then, and that was the last time we had probation. But at the start of the 2016-17 year, now we're only going to check grades at the semester because that's what the only bylaw that we're going to look at counts. So the 6-week grading period is irrelevant, and literally it's a phone call, a GPA under a 2.0, and the kid can play. Okay, we started the year with football players under 2.0 that played the entire year. I have students in my class who tell me, yeah, they never check my grades. I have under a 2.0. Never checked it all year long. Okay. So, secondly, if we have probation, I've got an email from athletic director telling a coach, so-and-so can't wrestle anymore. They have less than a 2.0. But if we have probation, why would that matter? Right? Why would it matter if we have probation? They should be eligible to wrestle. But at the time, we didn't worry about probation until spring sports started, for whatever reason. Okay? So I'm going to go back to when Deanza, Kiki, and Willie Moreno were 9th grade campuses and weren't considered part of the high school. That's when I was coaching back then. They had probation. The high school did not. Okay? So the packet even then had a picture of everyone's logo. Okay? And it had athletic contract, discipline contract that parents and kids both signed. Okay? So according to CIF, we have no probationary standard, is what we told them. Okay? Athletic code, back when Joe Evans was here in 2013, okay, talks about the bylaws, athletic code, board adopted in 1978, coaches' policies. An athlete must maintain a 2.0 above the previous grading period, not the previous semester. Okay, now we're going to worry about semesters, okay? And that was down in 2013. So it was very easy to go back and find that Willie Moreno and Kiki Camarena all had their athletic codes. And I'm going to read what they say. If a student receives less than a 2.0 average on any report card at the close of a school-wide grading period, that student will be placed on athletic probation. The probation will begin the Monday following the issuance of the report card. During the first week following the issuance of the report card, which results in a student being placed on academic probation, that student may not practice, may not play, travel, suit up, or sit on the bench, but he can participate at practice. That's just for the week after they're ineligible. Each week during the probationary period, the athletic director will issue grade checks, cards of probationary athletes. Every Monday following the practice week only, students will carry grade check cards to his or her teachers. They'll sign them, which I used to have to do back in the day when they had probation. Okay? And if they're above a 2.0, they're eligible to play. The athletic director will declare a student ineligible if he's under a 2.0. The director will report each status of each student's eligibility to the coach and principal. The athletic director will be primarily responsible for these students. The athletic director will keep the probationary grade cards on file during the grading period when the athlete is on probation. Okay. Well, obviously, somewhere along the way, Probation came into the picture this year in March or mid-February, and the email I have when these two kids were ineligible was obviously in early February, so we weren't worried about it. So those poor football players on the JV and freshman teams that didn't have a 2.0 had to turn in their stuff in the middle of the season because during the first 6-week grading period, they didn't have a 2.0. Probation didn't matter then. So it only matters for certain students, certain sports, whatever the case is. You can ask to the powers that be that made that decision, okay? But our sports program, we were in the top 5 population in San Diego section, and our football program is Division 5. We have a lot of off-season programs that go unregulated. People use access to gyms, and they're not always club sports through AAU or certain organizations the way you need to do it through CIF. And I know this because, like I said, I coached 6 years of baseball, 1 year as a head coach for basketball, and 2 as an assistant coach for football. There's a lot of, yeah.
Up, we have 21 requests for public speaking, so the next one will be Mr. Jorge Torres.
I'll give him my
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so kids moving forward, a lot of feel-good stories, but most kids that move on from here do it because of the parent and their hard work and sacrifice and off-season investments that they have with off-site coaches. You guys hire, you fire, that stuff's kept confidential, but you guys already know. Our point guard took off to Imperial. We got another good 8th grader, he's gone to Imperial. We're continuing to lose students because of what happens before and during the seasons. I've changed the NC clearinghouse twice here. I'm not even sure if you guys know what that means, but kids cannot go to NCAA school without passing 16 core courses, having a 2.3, and they can't redo anything after their junior year. Last year, Carlos Ariano, I had to do it with Hector Cabrera and turn in course descriptions so that he could be eligible to have a scholarship to New Mexico State. I'm doing the same thing right now with Naeem Vasquez. My first year here with John Moreno and Diego Romero, I did it myself. We have to update that, but we don't seem to care about those things. I go to officials meeting because I officiate basketball and baseball, and all this represents all of us. Anyone who's a Bulldog that has a kid who's a Bulldog, supports Bulldogs, that falls on everyone. And so for me, what are we teaching kids here at Calexico? It's about who you know. Is it better to just be the exception and be the good athlete instead of being the good example? Because man is as faithful as their options, okay? And sometimes people are put in a position that they're incapable of doing. And sometimes it's not their fault, it's the people that put them there. And we're here because the chain of command just doesn't work. You can't say something to supervisor ahead of you because they're not going to tell it to the next person because there's a little inner circle here, And the image won't change until our actions do, And I'm going to add to some stuff as a P department. It kind of gets intertwined with us because he's coached for a long time. I've coached, and there's differences. There's obvious differences, and probably now because they know that we know this, and they're doing whatever they want and getting away with it. And I had this information in February, but I was not going to go to CIF and hurt kids because of adult decisions. So that's why I'm here right now. We have some issues in our P department. We've had 2 lockdowns that were real, and we didn't have keys to gates or doors at certain times, and after numerous requests. As a department, we had a meeting regarding some safety issues and some liability issues that have been noted for a year already, and we were kind of been told to go through contractual steps, and we kind of pointed out, hey, you set a precedence here, and we were cautioned for our judgment. We're like, okay, so it's fair to assume that to us, our P department was pretty much told due process comes before student safety. So it's not good to come to work with your first job in your mind being, we need to avoid liability in our work environment because that's how we feel at work. You come to work one day and an M&O guy tells you, groundsman says, hey, I hear you and your partner are getting shipped out to another school. This year, we had another one who was going to be shipped out for a cross training, and he was the most tenured person on site for us. So for us, we just hope, you board members start to connect the dots, and that us voicing our concerns, that there's no retaliation. We care about the kids. Changing the culture in adults is what's best.
Thank you very much.
Right,
We're going to have to, we got to go with the next one. Next speaker is Cristina Costa.
Good evening. My name is Cristina Costa, and tonight I'm speaking as a parent of 2 children who attend collectively unified school district. I'm here tonight, I'm going to piggyback on Mr. Guzman, but I'm here tonight as a concerned parent regarding the athletic program at the high school. I've had concerns for a long time now, and finally it's time to talk. I'm here tonight to be the voice for parents who are concerned, who right now don't really feel confident coming out here in front in fear of retaliation, like Mr. Guzman said. So I'm here to be that voice for them. I'm tired of hearing parents, coaches, the community complaining that there are problems with our athletic program. We're losing kids, we're losing athletes. I have my daughter here, just so you know how concerned I am. Cece, stand up, please. She's not even in high school yet. She's not part of that program. But that's how concerned I am. I want her to be a bulldog, but she's not going to be a bulldog if there is no change. And I'm here to implore this school board for change. We need to change things, or she's not going to play here. And she's going to just be added to a large number of students who have already left Calexico because they don't want to play here. Or even sadder, she'll stay here and she just won't play. You need to think about that. These are our student athletes. I'm appalled to know that students have been playing without having the GPA. What is that about? I talk to my kids all the time about having GPA. They're not going to play. They're not going to be an athlete if they don't have the GPA. Who's in charge? Administration. The administration at the Calexico Unified High School District that falls under Ms. Ambriz. That then is with Ms. Williams as the high school principal, with Chris Lopez as the athletic director. We need to start holding people accountable. We need to start making a change. Here are a few lists of worries that parents have. JV football team didn't play their last game because of officials not being, game not being scheduled correctly. Wrestlers being at a tournament without board-approved coaches. Officials not receiving checks, inaccuracies about scheduling, others having to contact teachers about receiving payments, basketball games, having to announce over the microphone, where is the athletic director, can't be found, fights with the soccer team, and one soccer player was held accountable, one was not, nobody on site, no administration. Soccer and track field coaches, no keys, gates, kids having to climb over the fence. These are complaints that are coming from parents, that are coming from coaches, that are coming from the community. You were given this position to be advocates for us, for our children, for our community. So I'm just imploring you, I know you're going to cut me off right now. What board are you going to be? I'm not the first parent to complain. Are you going to be the board that's going to look the other way, let things be swept under the rug? I was told not to come here tonight to speak. Why? Because of retaliation or what have you? No, I'm done. Change needs to happen, and I'm asking you to be that change. Don't let me be here. They said, oh, you're just going to fall on the deaf ear. I don't want this to fall on your deaf ears. I am asking you to please listen, ask, investigate the parents, the community, the coaches, everybody else. Don't start here at the district level. Go into the community first and find out what's happening and make that positive change, or you will continue to lose student athletes.
Thank you.
Like my daughter.
Next speaker is Jose Ambrit Abundes. Abundes.
Hello, school board. I'm Jose Abundis Camarena, and today I'm here to talk about agricultural education. Agricultural education has 3 areas that are FFA, the SAE project, and what I learned in class. FFA is an organization of competitions, meetings, and leadership. FFA has officers in charge of activities and meetings. FFA has competitions of animals and plants. All year on FFA, students who owns an animal will train the animal how to walk in the competition for the judges. Meetings take place at the cafeteria of the main campus and discuss activities. FFA stands for Future Farmers of America. The SAE project is a project that that students work all year with an animal or plant. Every student have an SAE and requires to record their hours with their plant or animal. My SAE project is taking care of a rabbit and to go to the work days on Saturdays. A work day all FFA students gather together to clean the animal pens. I made 47 hours out of my rabbit and work days. It's required to have 40 hours by the end of the school year. In my classroom, I learned many things that I didn't know how to do. I learned how to feed and measure chicken and how to plant vegetables. I also learned how to take care of my rabbit by studying how it's bathed and how the rabbit eats. I would like to invite all of you to our pens next year to see how we work on the pens. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Gilbert Panella. He's gone. Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Arturo Calderon is the next speaker. Arturo Calderon. Okay, we're going to go with the next person and we just, yeah. Robert Moreno? Oh, he's here? Okay. All right, okay. All right, Mr. Calderon, you're up.
Good evening, board, students, teachers, parents. My name's Arturo Calderon, and basically I'm just here in support of Mr. Navarrete not being transferred. I've been working with Mr. Navarrete for the past 2.5, 3 years, and his dedication to the program, to the band program, is awesome. I see he goes beyond any teacher should be doing for their students. These students, I see they really take to them. There's a whole bunch of stuff I can say that I'm kind of nervous right now. But basically, I love his band program, his dedication. He inspires all kinds of students. This program is a prize-winning program. Wherever we go to any competitions, we bring back something. Second place, third place, fourth place, first place, sweepstakes, whatever it is. We'll get something out of all the hard work the students put in. In my experience, and talking for my kids will go practice at least 5 hours, starting in the morning with 0 period and first period, and sometimes in the afternoons. It all depending what he needs. All the little extra band camps, the field trips. I mean, what else can I say? Basically, removing Mr. Navarrete from this band program would be critical. I wouldn't like to see that happen. And I know I got 3 minutes, but probably I can't really say much anymore because I'm nervous.
All right.
So I thank you for the opportunity, and good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Calderon. Next speaker, Roberto Moreno.
Am I supposed to? Okay. My name is Robert, and I'm the captain of the Calexico High School drumline. And honestly, I just want to say that Mr. Navarrete has given all of us as a line an opportunity to make ourselves better, to get stuff accomplished, to represent Calexico. I believe that the removal of him maybe wouldn't be the best option because I don't see anybody else having the will to push us the way Mr. Navarrete has. He has pushed us and given us a lot of motivation in order to accomplish what we've accomplished in the whole band. And yeah, I think that he should stay because he's done a lot for us. And honestly, without him, I don't think we would have come as far as we've come. And that's all.
Moreno Espinosa. Denise Espinosa.
Good evening, board. My name is Denise Espinosa. I'm drum major at CHS. I'm currently the head drum major. Based on my experience, I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of band representation here on behalf of Mr. Carlos Navarrete. I've been in band for since 5th grade, and ever since I've entered high school, he's helped me in a variety of ways. But in relation to him, our program, I've never seen a program other than we've traveled outside, we've competed, and based on how our district is, and regarding income and how we've come upon, with him pushing us, we've been able to experience certain things that not a lot of other programs have. For example, we're the only band in in Imperial Valley that leaves the valley to go compete. We compete in San Diego. We go to, our color guard has competed in LA. They've brought back first place. He gives us that opportunity to be able to go out and explore out of our valley, our valley home. I've had my issues regarding any other person regarding him. As any student leader with their administrator, there's always ups and downs. But regardless of what we've ever went through, we've always overcome, and he's always sought out the best for our program. I've never seen any malice or bad intention in reference to our program. I believe that the change, and especially the point in which we are right now of our band director, would be very vital in regards to how we're going to adjust and how we're going to transform our entire program, just because we know that with him we can trust the fact that we're going to get things done. We're going to improve at some point. Every year since I've been in high school, this is my 3rd year, we have improved in one way or another, or in various ways. There has never been a lack thereof. You get what I mean? So in reference, I think that the dismissal of Mr. Navarrete, or the transferring of him into the junior high, would be a waste of a great band director. In reality, I believe that in my opinion, he's overqualified for that position. He has done more than enough to prove to that, We have the awards, we have the certifications that state, he's doing something for our program. Obviously, it comes a lot with us, but in reference, it's just, he's there to organize and to help us thrive into that aspect. So that's all I have to say. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Espinosa. Next speaker is Diego Espinosa.
Hello, thank you for having me today. I am one of the drum majors at CHS, and I am here to express my opinion on the transfer of Carlos Navarrete, our band director. I think that his transfer, it would very much affect our program. He is the one that pushes us to do our best in the program. He has been doing very great things in our program. I'm sorry, I'm saying program a lot. He has been doing very great things. Over the past few years, we've actually this year has been our highest scoring year in our competitions, and we compete versus the highest in our division, the best bands in Southern California, and we have brought home first place band, first place drum major, and first place auxiliary. And in our Imperial Valley, we have gotten sweepstakes, which is the highest award that we can get in our parades. And it's not really a problem for us to put in the extra work because he does too. So when we're practicing for field show or parade, I personally don't mind, and I don't think they do either, because he is always there. He helps us with everything we need. I think that he is a very good band director. That changing him would be a very, I don't want to say bad decision. It would be a decision that I don't think would benefit our program at all. He is very qualified for this position. He has the years of being in this program, So he is a veteran, as I would say. He is a veteran to this program, so he is very knowledgeable in this sense. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Hamid Beltran.
Hello, I'm Hamid Beltran, and I'm a CHS band student. From what I've been hearing from all the seniors is that it's taken a lot of years for this band to transform to what it is right now. Personally, I came from Enrique Camarena, and last year in our Imperial Festivals, we got some really bad scores. In some competitions too, we got good. This year, we went with Mr. Navarrete, and there was a transformation. We became better, and we got excellent. And even though we were being judged, we were being compared to all the schools that came before us, seniors, El Centro, Southwest. Those classes were being compared to us, and we were freshmen. Yet, we got better scores than the seniors, the juniors. And, well, I think that it's been really great how he's been helping us throughout this whole, for us to become, sorry, I'm nervous. And, yeah, and, well, the band has really been great. Yeah, thank you.
Speaker is Fernando Ledesma.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Fernando Ledesma, and I'm a former marching band member. I've been in marching band. I was in marching band since my freshman year, and I've been in drumline, previous captain. I'm a former captain for the drumline. And all I want to say is that the removal of Mr. Navarrete from this music program will affect a lot this program. You know, what we want to do, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys here want to see Calexico represent not only here, but outside, like in San Diego areas in Los Angeles. You know, Mr. Navarrete is already, I believe, 6 years experience with this marching band. And he has all the experience dealing with all these students, and taking out Navarrete of this, Mr. Navarrete of this program is really going to affect this program, because we have over 220 students, and that I know the person that we're bringing has never dealt with this many. And in reality, you know, this does affect. We all know that it will affect the way that the students are going to work, not only how they perform, but what they learn. Most of them want to be that are in music here with the marching band, as like my sister, because I'm here representing my sister. She wants to be a music major. And Mr. Navarrete has been guiding her, guiding other several students. We have one of our section leaders that is going to university to study his music major. And, you know, I know it's not mathematics. I know it's not English, but music is also something that is important, you know. We have to take it in consideration that taking someone that is well experienced as Mr. Navarrete is really going to affect this. He always pushes us for the best. I've been here in music, probably 5 with Mr. Navarrete. He's been here for 4 years, 5 years now as a volunteer. And I've seen how the music program has been previous years. I don't know if you guys have been here or remember, but there was problems with switching of music directors. And I remember that students will take over, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. I know the students here, we're here for a reason, because we know what's best for us. Because he's been helping us out, and in my opinion, I believe there's no reason for him to go over there. He should stay here with them. You know, we've been going to competitions, and all we've been bringing is, we might not take first place, but we see the progress, and it goes year by year. Why do you want to take that away? Why do you want to risk it? Why do you want to risk going down if all you guys have seen is a ladder going up to where we want to be. We look to other music groups and we're like, oh, we want to be like them. This is what Mr. Navarrete does. He sits and listens and he looks at it and this is what we're going to do because this is what we're doing. You know, we're not stealing, we're learning. And that's what he's doing. We don't want to take a teacher out of a program that is like him. Because he's teaching us. You know? And I'm talking, looking especially at you guys and especially Ms. Ambris, because it's in your hands. You know, music is something very important and it's important to them and they want to learn it. And I believe that Mr. Nata has very good experience to guide them through this. I want my sister to be a musician, a professional musician, like she wants to. You know, and he has what it takes to show her that. You know, removing Mr. Navarrete from there risks what my sister wants to do in the future. She already has this plan, and she has been talking to him, and he has been guiding her. And I don't want her to risk her future.
Thank you. Next speaker, Jesse Ruiz. Jesse Ruiz. No. Next one is Maria Carmona.
Para empezar, yo hablo español. Soy madre de Carolina Ferraez. Mi hija tiene 3 años ya en el programa de banda y también vengo a apoyar al señor Navarrete. Yo no creo que sea la mejor idea para removerlo de su lugar. Es realmente una persona muy profesional y otro en su lugar no creo que haga el papel y el programa va a caer. Esa es mi opinión humildemente y yo pienso que aquí como padres y alumnos estamos todos de acuerdo en eso. Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Next speaker is Carolina Ferrares.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolina Ferraez. I am color guard co-captain. I came here in regards of Mr. Navarrete also being replaced. Well, in this regard, we have seen all these comments from, just look, all these band members, all these drill team members, the drum line, everybody. Okay, so we know that Mr. Navarrete is very professional, just like my mom said. And we have, because of him, we have been going to so many competitions. The program has been going up and up, like these past, 5-6 years that he has been here, before we know that it all started at the bottom. And now we're slowly going up to where we want to be. Now, in his replacement, I believe that it is not going to be the best idea because look at all these activities that he has brought us into this program. It's not only the band, it is also the color guard, it is a drill team, the shields, the drum line, the mariachi. Like, he is in charge of all these activities that is giving all our students the enjoyment, that I'm pretty sure that all the band members, they also want to have a musical career, and they all think that Mr. Navarrete is a very important person for him to be staying. In regards to the drill team, if he leaves, it is not going to be the best idea because at first the drill team, before it was almost nothing. We had little experience. After Mr. Padilla has been, Mr. Padilla is our current drill team coach. As soon as he got here last year, our program went really up. And that is because Mr. Navarrete also hired him. And also, Mr. Navarrete, I'm pretty sure that he has been supporting Mr. Padilla a lot in that regard. And I feel that in his replacement, I feel that there isn't going to be as much support as there was before. And that is my primary concern for everybody, all these band students. I just know that Mr. Navarrete's replacement isn't going to be a good upgrade. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ferrari. Next speaker is Camila Musso.
Good afternoon. My name is Camila Muso. I am one of the drum majors at CHS. I don't agree with. I don't agree. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Okay. I don't agree with the decision because I think he has done so much for our program. He does a lot. I've only had like 1 year experience with him, and I can already see that he does a lot for our program. He's a great band director. Every time he's the reason we bring all of everything that we like, all of the awards that we bring home. And every time we win an award, we're representing the district, representing Calexico, and we're representing our high school. So that is why I don't think it would be a good decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Musso. Next speaker is Daniela Hernandez.
Good evening. My name is Daniela Hernandez, and I want to say that I respectfully disagree with the decision of transferring Mr. Navarrete to a junior high school because I think that position is way too low for him. He has helped us so much in our program, as we can see by the color guard, the co-captains, and everything, that he's been actually helping us improve with everything. Last year, I believe that I really improved. Since last year, I've been getting better grades. I've been playing better. And, well, I believe it actually takes time to adapt to a position like this because I don't think anyone just not out of nowhere, but it has to take time to be able to control a band like this. And Navarrete, I believe, has perfected this position, and well, I don't believe that Marcus is still ready because he would have to take time to actually adapt to what we already do and we already know. And for him to be able to adapt, that means that the students would have to take time to actually control the band ourselves. And Navarrete is the one actually controlling this and has been helping us throughout everything. And he is very professional. He tells us about when he goes up to college levels to go teach over there. And, well, going to a junior high level, I don't think it's the right position for him because, well, yeah, that's my opinion. And I believe that it would make a really big change in our band, and I don't think we could afford right now, since we're doing so good, to have a big change like that, to be able to make time for Marcus, to be able to adapt to what we do, and we're just getting higher and higher scores. So this is why I don't believe that Mr. Navarrete should be transferred to a lower level. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Brian Angulo.
Good afternoon, board members. I just want to say that I think that changing Mr. Navarrete would be, well, pretty much the worst idea that could happen, because when we go to competitions, we're there to win. And if we don't win, he doesn't get mad. He just strives for more success. He makes us better. He makes the best come out of us. And I think the main point of going to competition is to bring pride for your school, and just knowing that you're there for your school, representing your school, bringing happiness to your school, being able to go to other schools and say, "Oh, we won." You get bragging rights, basically. And then, well, Mr. Navarrete has done a lot for this program. I think he has a lot, he has influenced a lot in color guard, drill, drumline, JV drumline. He even opened a spot for some people that want to become people, like members of the drumline, so they can already start to practice when it comes to joining the actual drumline. We go to competitions. What can I say? I mean, just look at the trophies. It's all there. I mean, sometimes he even works when he doesn't even have to. He's there so we can be the best band there is, because he's dedicated to his school, to his district, to his class of band. I mean, sometimes he even gets emotional because the band, something bad, like someone wants to try to stop the band. And I feel like a teacher, just imagine a teacher, 30 students. He has 230 around that. And I think that all of us here would agree that taking care of 230 students is pretty difficult. And I think he does a really great job controlling the band, bringing the best out of us, inspiring us, make us strive for greatness. And I mean, I'm not saying anything different than anyone has, because I think we all have the same thought of Mr. Navarrete, and we all think he's a great teacher, not just a teacher, but a great friend that motivates us, that helps us do things that we didn't even know was possible. You know, sometimes you play a new instrument, he's like, you can do this, and you do it because he inspires you. And besides being a great teacher, I think he's a great friend, and I think that moving him would be a bad idea. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Luis Inés. Science.
Good evening, and thank you very much for affording me the time to address you. I'm here on behalf of not just my daughter, but the other daughters and sons of the parents that are here and those that are not here. Calexico, in the many years that I have lived here, has always heralded their sports. Mighty Mites in football, Little League, go up to Babe Ruth, high school. Sports are number one. What I learned from coaching in these sports, losing is not an option in Calexico. Now, why do I bring that to this? My daughter wanted to do band. I never considered band a sport. My daughter gets up in July, along with all the rest of these children, to be at school at 7 o'clock in the morning to march. They get out 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon to come home. Again, just like football, to get ready to go back and do it again. But this starts in July. Their day, unlike football, wrestling, baseball, basketball, any of these other sports, starts at 6 o'clock in the morning because they have to be at school at 7. And they don't come home at 3. They come home at about 4, sometimes 5, 6, depending on what activities are running. Mr. Navarrete runs these programs. It's very, very important to these children that this particular guide, this mentor, this friend, we've heard terms such as inspired, motivated, driven. These are things that we say in football. These are things that they're saying in band. I got more. To sit there and say that this teacher is important to them, yes, it is. Calexico has a problem which goes beyond this. That problem is apathy. You have got motivated students who are not simply just getting by. They're driven. And they're driven by the attitude of one person who stands up in front of 230 people and says, You need to do this. Not to make me great, but to make you great. And this is a person that you wish to remove from this community. I've already been through one bad band instructor in Calexico. It caused my son to drop band, which ultimately caused us to move him out of the school district. I'm not going to say that I'm going to move my child out of the school district, but if you remove that motivation, like any other plant, it will wither, it will die. And this is something that you guys have the ability and the responsibility to nourish. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So just let you know. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. We go on with our agenda. J, consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon one motion without discussion unless the item is pulled for separate consideration and action. Trustees, do we have any concerns, questions regarding?
I'll second that.
Moved by Romero, second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approved by Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back. Thank you. Have all night. All right, we'll go on with our meeting. Informational items, K1, Superintendent's Report.
Okay, just a very quick reminder, our promotions next week, in particular, Calexico High School's graduation and Aurora High School. Aurora High School's graduation, June 13th at Varner Gym. It's a change of venue this year. And Calexico High School at Ward Field on June 14th. Very beautiful day. And we will be we will be in our brand new bleachers, and they will be cleared probably as effective tomorrow, as a matter of fact. We have senior spotlight tomorrow night at Calexico High School's Varner Gym. And I believe last night we had the seal of biliteracy, and over 96 or 97 students received the seal of biliteracy in our district. And so I believe that Trustee Calderon was there last night, so delicious food, I hear. I was unfortunately ill and had to miss it, but I hear that it was a very well attended and very good program and recognition for our students. And that is all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Ambris. K2, Association comments, ACT.
Good evening, Superintendent Ambris and board members. I don't have a well-prepared speech to present today, but I'm going to go through my 3 minutes as quickly as I can. It's okay, I don't mind. But today I want to address item M8 on approval of salary schedule increase for certificate of management, classified management, and confidential employees. Now, as you obviously saw, before this meeting, we had a lot of representation from, teachers here that came before you to obviously let you know, I hope you heard it loud and clear, how we are not very happy about the fact that you have this item on the agenda to approve already, when you haven't even taken the time to finalize negotiations for ACT for teachers. And yes, like Sater said, traditionally you do, the teachers first and then you do administration. Well, that's, all well and good if you decide to switch the tables, but the problem is the fact that you guys decide, and whoever decided to come up with this increase, and just so the board members are aware, I don't know if you're aware that obviously it seems that they're taking this 4%. Can you guys hear me, or did I?
I can.
I have a loud voice as it is. You took the 4% that we are asking for and said, let's take that 4%, it looks good for us. And now then you decided to add a 2.6% because, those 2.6 that we gave the teachers last time when, we gave them a salary increase for those extra 10 minutes that we had to negotiate, to put into our workday because the high school was short on minutes, and the district would be penalized if we didn't add those 10 minutes to our workday. And that came because of us. And it's kind of upsetting to think that, you're taking the opportunity to piggyback on the negotiations that we did, the hard work that we're making, that we're putting that extra time, that extra hours, or whatever you may have. I don't know. Maybe you want to be paid for attending board meetings now. I don't know. I don't know what the case is, but that's already negotiated in your salary. But, this is another example of people trying to get something off of the backs of teachers, something that we negotiated, that 7.6%. That was supposed to be, for us because of the living cost increase. But I also want to talk about not just the number, the 6.7, the audacity to create a salary schedule already before you even negotiate for teachers. Guys offer us 4%, and you keep us, going back and forth, canceling these negotiating meetings with us when we're trying to negotiate in good faith, and you postpone it, but all of a sudden, it seems like, oh, this looks good, let's give the management, the administrators, a 6.7 increase. And nobody negotiates with them. They just put it there and, ready to approve. Why? They're getting more, if you compare the two salary schedules from this year and the coming year that they proposed, they're getting from $7,000 to even more than $8,000 an increase in their salary schedule. And if you look at the teacher salary schedule for 28 years in the salary schedule, and class 6, where you have a bachelor's, you have, I believe, 60 units and above, and you have a master's degree, you're not even starting at where they're starting at after 28 years of service. But if you add 4%, that's only like a 3,000 increase, which is half, even less than half of what they're already going to get tonight if you approve it. With 28 years of service, when a lot of these people haven't even been working for the district for 28 years. When teachers, like you heard tonight, you have Navarrete, you had Garcia, you had Magallanes, who have dedicated their lives to students, to inspire students, to work hard. They can't get a decent pay increase when administration, management, just put it on paper. Here it's ready to approve. But we have to be the ones going back and forth in negotiating, begging for a 4%, when you guys only offered us a 4%. And that's where it is. You saw the group of teachers that came tonight before this board meeting. That's just a little hint where the sleeping giant is waking up already. You guys better be prepared if you don't have anything good to offer us. I don't have a problem with that 4% personally, but for you to add on and even negotiate with, or not negotiate, agree to them having an increase when you haven't even decided for the teachers, that's a slap in the face. That's a downright slap. We're the ones, and I'm sorry, and I might insult some people here, but we're the ones making the wheels turn in school, and I'm going to call that to one person accountable who told me that, who are the ones that make the wheels turn in schools? What, you're going to die if they change your administrator? Well, you know what? A lot of teachers are making the wheels turn in schools. They're the ones making the work happen. And we're the ones not getting, we're not, our salary's not getting settled yet. I'm just letting you know that. But, I want you to really think about what you're doing tonight. That's wrong. That's dead wrong. For someone to just be able to, present in paper to you, oh, we get an increase, and you forget about the teachers. Forget about the teachers. Who cares? We'll negotiate, and we already said 4, and we're not going to budge. Why? When these people haven't even been working for the district as long as, the 28 years where their salary is like $91,000. That's pathetic. You guys already saw the numbers for the rest of the valley. Another thing, we get the unduplicated funding, like Mr. Taylor spoke about earlier. We are getting the most money, but we cannot find it money to pay the teachers to give them a decent increase like the rest of the valley is. You guys better, search. Someone's lying out there. I don't know who it is. But I'm just going to leave you with that. And that's all I really have to say, that it's unfair and unjust to, someone present something already, the audacity to do that when you haven't even negotiated with teachers yet or come to an agreement with them. But you have the money to negotiate with administrators and management and all those other positions. Like I said, I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but the audacity to say, oh, we're going to negotiate with you first, and let's see if we have money left over for the rest of you. Well, thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. CSCA? K3, Insurance Committee?
Good evening, trustees. So we had our last insurance committee on May 31st, and so that was our last one for the year. Just wanted to share some highlights as far as the insurance committee. First, I want to give thanks to ACT membership and CSEA membership. We really work collaboratively to make sure that we look at what the needs of the district are when it comes to health and benefits. And so I'm going to share some of the successes that we had this year. This year, we transitioned into an online enrollment via the benefits bridge. So prior to that, we had a lot of paperwork that was done. Now everything is done online, and I'm happy to report that that was a successful transition. The other one is with the input of the insurance committee, we had our health fair this year that was very successful as well. And it was very well attended by our support providers and by our staff. The other thing is we did receive a $50,000 wellness budget. This came from Anthem Blue Cross. So we did start a district-wide survey to assess the staff and find out what it is that they felt or feel that would help their wellness. And so we did get great feedback. So we'll be working on a plan based on those results. The other thing, part of what we talk about at the insurance committee is we talk about any issues related to health, dental, and vision. And I'm happy to report that the issues were minimal. I think we probably had less than 5 reported throughout the year. So that was a really good thing. We did have a decrease in our insurance rate from Anthem Blue Cross, 3.42%. One of the other things that we targeted was the Live Health Online, which is basically you can go online and access a doctor. It could be a medical doctor or a psychologist or a counselor. So that's great because you can access that in the comfort of your own home. And so once again, just want to thank all the members of the insurance committee and look forward to having a great year next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. ROP Committee?
Nothing to report. Meet next week.
Safety Committee?
Good evening, trustees. Monday we held also our last safety committee for the year. We met from 1 to 3. We had good representation in that meeting. We had different stakeholders. We had administrators, teachers, counselors. We had our school nurse, parents. We actually had Lieutenant Gerardo Law Enforcement participate too. Amongst the topics that we discussed were more towards the recent incidents at Calexico High School. And we did invite some parents who had concerns regarding the incidents. And we also addressed staff concerns. And overall, the major question was, what are we going to do to ensure that we improve the security in not only Calexico High School, but all our campuses? So some of the solutions or possible things that we could do to improve security is to hire more campus security, hire SROs, install cameras, knowing that the integration of all our bell systems will more than likely cost more than $6 million. They also wanted us to provide active shooter training, more up-to-date training to all staff and students, and inform parents about it. They also want us to improve communication amongst all stakeholders. We did talk about the Ray, which is an app of communicating with all stakeholders, and then I also shared that we would the following day be looking at a mass emergency management system that is web-based, not necessarily via app, and that I would provide feedback to them. And for that one, we did invite one of our district safety committee members, which is Mr. Davies, to just see what the program is about. And it was actually a really good program, and we're going to compare it to others and see if that's one that we could possibly recommend for next year. The other thing that parents ask is that, and staff, is that whenever incidents occur, is there any way we could do faster communication so that we avoid all the chaos that happens outside? We talked about issues that we address or solutions we address in the district safety committee, that administrators put it on the agenda in every meeting, so that every meeting that they hold has safety on it, so they can address concerns that the staff might have. They recommend that we install signage in the school hallway, so that when our first responders come, they know that this aisle is rooms 20 to 25. It's faster access for them. We reviewed the refurbishing of the emergency buckets and purchasing additional buckets, and these are the buckets that we have for lockdowns who have supplies that expired in April. We talked about bringing PBIS and building a positive culture in our campuses, and incorporating a lot of those character account values in our curriculum, so it's embedded and it's just not a one-shot presentation. And then we addressed possible trainings that we can bring during the summer or continue over the year, which is CPI on how to restrain students, verbal judo, which includes commanding presence for our campus security, the attire for the campus security so that they do command presence, conscious discipline, 7 habits, and then our Safe School Conference. The ACES program also provided an update as to how they address emergency procedures. And one of the concerns that they had is that sometimes supervisors rotate classrooms, or sometimes the classroom where they're at, there's only one key, and so they have a master key. So whenever there is a lockdown, it's really hard to lock all the classrooms because there's only one key. So they asked us to look into possibly making sure that our ACES staff has a key where they can always lock the classroom. And they also talked about they're having an attire so that they're visible at the sites. They also provided information regarding their student accountability and how they scan for students and can generate reports right away and can account for all students. And the biggest concern really that they have is having an open campus. In the past, ACES was able to fund campus security, but they can no longer use those funds because it doesn't provide direct service to students. So they're asking if there's any way we could have a campus security at all school levels, but especially at the elementary, because campus securities at the high schools or junior highs leave at 4:30, whereas at the elementary, there is no campus securities at that time, at 3 o'clock. And the last thing we discussed is we've been working all year into unifying our calendars. We even had our fire chief and some other members come and analyze our school maps and put them up in zones and what are the main entrances for our first responders. So sites have been working on it, and so we're asking them now to submit it electronically to me, because we're going to work with our architects so that we unify and we use the same program, because everybody uses different programs. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. Do you have any questions? No.
1 cent.
1 cent.
So I'm glad to hear the activities, discussion, being proactive. Just one thought as I'm listening to you. You mentioned several things, PBIS, conscious discipline, character counts. Just the one thought in my head is just as you're moving forward, really focus in and, focus in on one program or 2 programs. Don't throw just a variety of things out there. It's going to be complicated, too much training. I think focus.
Okay.
And just stay that course.
All right.
This is one thought, 2 cents.
Thank you.
That was 2 cents, Mr. Castillo. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Ramirez. K4, board reports. We'll start with Mr. Romero.
No comment.
No comment. Mr. Calderon. Trustee
Good evening.
Calderon.
I have some stuff that I would like to report and comment. Number one, congratulations for last night's event, the Bileracy event, Ms. Yanez. Okay, it was well done. The food was really good, as usual. But on a more serious note, it is extremely, it speaks tons of all the teachers, the staff, administration, when you have so many students go through this event and be certified. Okay, so congratulations again, really nice event. And every time you want to let us know that you're gonna have something like this, please invite us, and we'll try to make time. Okay, and then that's a good one. Safety committee meeting. Where are you? Oh, Assistant Soup Ramirez, it was really nice being at the committee, at the meeting the other day. I think you did a really good job facilitating the meeting. I really enjoy having the lieutenant come over. And I may have opened my mouth more than I should have, Mr. President, because I asked if they could have 3 SROs. And the lieutenant said that maybe, right? That's what he said, because I thought we had said only 1 or 2, but he said that if we wanted 3, that they could find us 3. So I don't know if that's possible. But I think the issue with the SROs, and I think the issue with the safety, especially what we've been going through in the last couple of weeks, I think nobody's going to put a price on what is it that we need to do in order to maintain our students and our staff safe. So I hope this happens. And I hope we keep having those meetings as we should. Okay. I saw a lot of members of the community, only a couple of parents, but you know what? Whatever parents we can get in, that's okay. I know I know you guys do a great job trying to recruit parents for these meetings, but let's try to get some more parents in. I saw 5 parents? Yeah, about. Yes, 2 in the committee.
Maybe we need more.
Yes, but we need, the more the better. The more the better. Let's see. Okay.
Trustee Calderon, I don't want to rain on your parade, but there is a set meeting tomorrow, 9:30, with the chief of police and the city manager and the lieutenant, or at 10 o'clock, to discuss the SROs.
Good, and like I said, and we spent a lot of time talking about the SROs and safety, so I'm glad that's gonna happen tomorrow. I also would like to talk about some of the stuff that has been happening in our schools and where we see things that are not supposed to happen. So there was an incident at the high school the other day regarding somebody's office being vandalized. For whatever reasons. This, at least in my position, that's not how we do business. Okay, this idea that it's okay to retaliate, this idea that it's okay if somebody doesn't agree with us because all we need to do is just show them who's boss. It doesn't work. Okay. Not in this school district. We have it in our bylaws. It's stated the Board of Education accepts responsibility for providing a means by which the public can hold employees accountable for their actions. The board desires that complaints be resolved expeditiously without disrupting the educational process. It goes on and on to talk about the board prohibits retaliation against complainants. The superintendent or designee, at his or her discretion, may keep the complainant's identity confidential, except to the extent necessary to investigate the complaint. The district will not investigate anonymous complaints unless it so desires. Okay, we've been this thing about retaliation, about you know what, we're gonna do whatever we want to do because that's how we do business. It's not going to happen. So I invite the public, I invite the administration and whoever else is here, that if you have something, if something is happening to you, come forward, don't be afraid, because this board is not going to let retaliation happen in this district. Okay? So I invite anybody that has a complaint not to be afraid and just come forward. Hold on, I have more. Safety on our campuses, and I will end with that. Safety on our campuses, again, is very important that we do keep that in mind, okay? Especially with what's been going on in the district, in the city of Calexico. Also, I was very disappointed when I went to a couple of the sites last week, and the principals were on a conference in San Diego. Okay, so whatever has happened in the last couple of weeks, and especially at the end of the year, principals should be at their sites. Okay, I mean, and that's just me. They have no business going to these conferences, especially in the middle of the week, especially if you don't have a vice principal to stay in your school. Okay, you are responsible for your site. Okay, not the principal designee, not the counselor, not the AST. You, the system, you, the principal, you are responsible for your site. So, with regards of negotiations, and I think as I've seen in other districts, first they negotiate with the unions, and then after the unions they negotiate with certain management. So that thing, if you don't get what I'm trying to say, well, then you don't get it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Calderon. Trustee Castillo.
Quickly, 3 cents. So.
Well, Cito already took 5. So.
Okay, I owe you.
All right.
I think common thread you're hearing from, I think, several board members, administration, staff, and sites. You know, school safety, student safety, with all recent activities and events, is certainly on our minds and our concerns. And as a district, I'm glad to hear that our sites, staff, parents, and community members are being proactive in, continuing the dialogue and looking at possible interventions, programs, and plans to address these student safety and hazards. It's nothing that's going to go away, but it's something that we got to prepare for. On the other note, I know this time of year, I think, like I said before, a lot of things happening. Administration keeps us apprised of all the different things that are occurring at sites, be it, all your assemblies, the month recognitions in the year. I know we've got a huge 2-page list of activities. Even though we can't make them all, just know that we are informed. They do communicate. We do see your pictures, so we appreciate everything that's happening at the sites that you guys are doing with your students and parents. I've had a chance to visit, I think, the sports banquet this week. Is that this week? Monday. The theater banquet through assets programs 2 Saturdays ago. Some of us, I think, attended the Imperial County School Boards Association that was hosted at Cesar Chavez. So there's a lot of things happening. And then sometimes it's hard for us to get to the events during the day, but again, we are thinking about it, and we keep appraised of it. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Trustee Castillo. Trustee Alvarado.
But safety, we got graduation coming up. I think there should be something put in place. There's going to be a lot of people there. Should already be thinking ahead as far as that goes. I'm not going to touch any more on that. I just want to jump over to just commend the students that came forward and spoke in regards to their teacher, Mr. Navarrete. He's really brought this program up. From I remember from hearing it a couple years ago to now, I can't talk about it. It's just an amazing job that this man has done. Just like Mr. Cannon built his legacy in Central, I think Mr. Navarrete could build that legacy here for Calexico. And that's what we're talking about, being the pinnacle of whatever it is that we do. And Mr. Navarrete brings that characteristics here for Calexico. With that said, I'll comment a little bit more once we go into back into closed session. But other than that, just want to thank administrators and teachers, everybody for coming out, and especially the students, and especially those PE teachers that came forward and spoke as far as what's going on. It takes a lot of courage, but you know what? We need to continue that in order to make Calexico what it was and what it is going to be in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Alvarado. As for me, good evening, everyone. I would like to start by congratulating our athletes for a great season. Also, congratulations to the robotic team for representing Calexico, and it's their first year, and I think we should give them a big hand. For most important, thank you to the teachers and coaches who give a lot of their personal time to get these kids ready for competition. We have a lot of these, I know for a fact that we have teachers out there that put a lot of time into this, making sure that our kids are ready for the competition. To move on, also last month, this district has gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, serious enough that it has brought a lot of questions from our community, our staff, our students, asking what direction this district is going to take. I can assure you, we as a board, we're doing everything to ensure that this environment is safe for our kids and that they can come to school and not worry that if something's going to happen to them. We, as a board, have instructed Ms. Ambriz to communicate with you as much as she can and allowed by policy and procedure. We'll continue to give you input as to how we're making our schools safe. And I remind you, as I did last board, if you see something, say something, because that could put us in a better situation if we're dealing with something, an issue at your school. So thank you again, and let's go on with this board meeting. K5, account payable, May pre-list. Trustees, do we have any questions or concerns regarding this?
I move we approve.
Romero moves to approve. Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion to approve. In favor, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. L, discussion and possible action. L1, Verizon, wireless antenna installation on new light poles at Calexico High School.
Good evening, trustees. As you remember at the last board meeting, I had brought some information regarding the light poles and the antennas for Verizon and what some of those costs were. We had put it out to bid and got the costs. Well, we've got some good news from Verizon. They have agreed on a second light pole. And what they'd like to do, since they're going to pay for it up front, is just on the one light pole, not have to pay the rent over until they pay out the $171,000 for that light pole. So the benefit to that for the district is that we don't have to come up with an additional or pay for 3 light poles. The district will be responsible for paying for 2 light poles, and Verizon will pay for 2 light poles.
Could I ask what T-Mobile's doing as far as?
They are paying for 4 light poles on
4.
the soft baseball field, right? These light poles at Verizon, this is for the football field.
Yeah, I mean, Verizon's making a lot of money out of everybody here, and I feel that, you know, they want to put something up. I think that they should pay for it and pay its rent, you know, whatever's going to come out of it. I just, you know, I think that they should pay for both light poles and not say, you know what, hold back the $171,000, whatever, till, I mean, I'm not good with that.
Go ahead, Trustee Calderon. No, until
All
they
they
pay
wanted
the
was
second.
to pay for 1 light pole.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
negotiated for them to pay for 2 light poles, but in order for them to pay for the second light pole, they don't want to pay rent until it's exhausted, the rent. No, I understand, but we've negotiated with them, and this is what they came back with. So they're happy to do the 1 light pole, which is what they initially wanted to do, and we were able to negotiate a second light pole out of them.
No.
If that's what they don't want to pay, right?
That's what they're going to pay.
That's what I'm saying. No, but if they don't want to pay rent for the second one, right?
Yeah.
So they don't want to pay $171,000. That's an SRO.
The rent they're offering is $1,500 per month.
Correct.
That's $18,000 per year.
Oh.
Based on my research, a lot of governments pay on the average $10,000 to $12,000 a year. And they're offering you 18,000? I mean, that's a win.
It is.
But it's gonna be up till.
Up to the light pole is that's 18,000 versus right now the annual average is $10,000 to $12,000 based on talking to a lot of other cities, and they're paying 18,000.
Plus the increase in the light bill and.
They're going to pay for.
They're
that.
paying.
They're going to pay for that,
Yes.
but
Ms. Randall?
yes.
You know, there was a speaker here, Mr. Slater,
Yes.
commented on this item. And do you have a photo or anything to see what?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Okay.
So let me
'cause-
just reassure the board that it will not be a big concrete pole or big concrete something that's an eyesore. It will mirror the lights that are in Emerson Field. So just as a reminder, we're getting actual football lights. So it's going to mirror the football lights, and the device, and Jeremy's going to pull it up here in just a second. The device is going to go around or up under the football light. So it's going to be on the top of the pole. So it's not going to be like a separate structure that Verizon is doing. So he's going to put it on that thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be nice.
Oh.
So it's, go ahead, Jeremy.
Light pole itself is gonna look like the ones we have over at Emerson, but much taller. They're gonna be 80 feet tall. And the antenna that Verizon is proposing to put up is this lower one here, underneath the actual light structure.
They have those structures all around the county, right? Exactly like that. One antenna over the other.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sometimes they put palm trees.
They make it look
around,
like a palm
make
tree.
it look
They have the
blend
fake
in.
trees and, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
The triangle that goes over the pole,
Yes.
and it's gonna have them little rectangular tiles
Yeah.
on it, and that's gonna be the antenna array.
Oh.
Right.
No, I support this. My only question is a 3% increase for the life of the term.
On the rent, yes.
Can we add that additional inflation factor? I mean,
Well, I think we could propose that, but since they are paying the additional electricity and all of that, that's kind of where we kind of negotiated was the 3% on that. We can ask, I mean, no harm in asking, but.
yeah, tied to a CPI or inflation factor. I mean, just ask, but I mean.
We can pose it.
I'll move that we approve this as is.
Motion by Romero to approve item L1. Second by Castillo. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, item is approved. Voting for the item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, and Calderon Jr., and opposed, Alvarado. M, action items, consideration and action approval of the following items. M1, agreement between Calexico Unified School District and Jose A. Gonzalez to serve as student expulsion hearing officer. Yes.
I'll move to approve.
Well, I'd like a little information before we go on.
Well, second with
Trustee
discussion.
Calderon.
Okay.
I'll second it for discussion
Second
purposes.
with
Yeah, discussion. All right.
So we have this item on the agenda. We have Mr. Gonzalez, who is he would basically be an independent hearing officer, neutral to the district. We have a couple of cases that will be coming up for expulsion, where the people who normally serve as our hearing officers, which are either Ms. Ramirez and or Ms. Armendariz, are likely witnesses to, will be serving as witnesses to the cases. So in order for propriety's sake and to be able to ensure that there be neutrality and fairness and impartial as the hearing is presented and heard, we are asking that the board approve Mr. Gonzalez as this independent, neutral third party.
Have we used him before?
We have used him for prior investigations.
Did we go out for bid?
No, we did not. We did not.
I'd like to go for bid.
Yes, Mr. Weiler?
If I may comment, one of the hearings, the main hearing for Mr. Gonzalez, where he would serve as the hearing officer, not as a decision maker, but as a presiding hearing officer, will probably involve an attorney representing the student and a special education advocate representing the student as well, and maybe the parents. And I would probably be there representing the administration. So there'd be 3 legal advocates in the room. Mr. Gonzalez has experience with acting as a presiding hearing officer. I have known him for years. He is very neutral. He has ruled against me when he should have ruled against me. But he also looks at the facts and knows the law. He used to be an attorney for San Diego Unified School District in-house, one of their attorneys for decades. He's now semi-retired. In terms of going out for bid, that would be a good idea, but there are deadlines for holding student expulsion hearings. This particular hearing is now being continued because one of the attorneys for the student is unavailable for a few weeks. But there would probably not be time to go out for bids.
Okay, I would draw my request.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion was by Calderon and second by Romero. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, voting in favor of this item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. M2, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education for skills on how to be a better coaches, professional development for Calexico academic support teachers.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Calderon.
Second.
Second by Romero. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. M3, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education regarding professional development through support of sites, principals, and district administrators. Can someone, I'd like some information on this.
Yes. So ICOE would continue the work that they've been doing with administrators.
Me?
It's mine? Okay. So this will be a continue of the work that ICOE is doing with our district in assisting our site administrators at performing their walkthroughs of their classrooms in support of the instruction, and so that they can provide effective feedback, obviously in a non-evaluative format where they go in, they're able to provide feedback, and but without making it part of an evaluation, but in order to support the instruction that is going on in the classroom.
Thank you, Ms. Ambriz. I move to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of the item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. And for program contracts and resolution fiscal year 2017-2018 child development for the preschool program at Kennedy Gardens Elementary School. Motion by Castillo.
I'll second that.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor? No, this is a roll call, so. Romero?
Yes.
Calderon?
Yes.
Castillo? Alvarado?
Yes.
Calderon Jr.? Yes. Motion approved. And 5, first reading, Board Policy and Administrative Regulation 5141.52, Suicide Prevention. I motion to approve.
That's the question.
Do you have a, okay.
This question, just, so policies, is this coming to us from who, CSBA or?
Yes,
Yes?
it
Okay.
is a CSBA policy, and this suicide prevention is something that all districts have to go through in the state of California. And with this board policy will also be a plan that will be forthcoming as well in the next few weeks.
Thank you. I'll second.
Second by Castillo. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of the item are Romero Calderon Castillo, Alvarado Calderon Jr. M6, first reading of revised board policy 427 and administrative regulation 427, temporary athletic team coaches.
So moved.
Moved by Romero.
Second.
Second by Alvarado. All those in favor, please state aye. Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. M7, second reading of revised board policy 7214, general obligation bond.
So moved.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of the item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. M8, approval of salary schedule increase for certificated management, classified management, and confidential employees.
I move that we. Oh, go ahead.
I like to table this.
I agree.
Are you making a motion?
I'm making a motion to table this.
I will second that motion.
Second by Calderon to table this item.
Yeah, but one thing I want to make a comment that when that 6.7 was approved, they added, recommended. I was not aware that 2.7% that was added was, when they added it to the teachers, it was because they increased their minutes.
Yep.
And it doesn't make sense to increase it, to give them a bonus to the administrators. They have not increased their minutes. Therefore, I just want to go on record that I will not support even whenever it comes back the way it currently is.
And I'll go ahead and support you on that decision also, Mr. Romero. I will not be supporting that also as well.
You know, if we do something, if we do something for one, we have to do it for everybody else. There's nobody less or more important in this district. Everybody's the same, so I will concur with that decision as well.
And then, just a comment as well as we're discussing. So I think it's important to say and, just acknowledge that, Calexico is a good district. We've got good teachers, we've got good classified employees, we've got good administrators. So again, we want to recognize all of them and move forward in doing what's right. In this case, be it compensation. Where'd my thought go?
Well, nobody's arguing.
No, that's just a comment that we,
Yes.
we value all employees here.
Right.
And I lost my thought.
Nobody's arguing that this is a good district and that everybody pulls their weight. I know one administrator that is there until 8 o'clock. Okay? So yes, we value everybody. We value administrators. Okay, don't get me wrong. However, in my long or short years of service, whichever way you or whoever you're talking to, districts have always first settled with the unions, and then after whatever the unions got, not whatever, but what the districts agree with the unions, that's what they agree also with management, not the other way around. So I'm not saying that they don't deserve a raise, but if you do it for one, you have to do it for everybody else. No more, no less.
Again, it was an argument.
Yeah.
But again, I think the comment that came back was we're negotiating, with our associations. ACT tomorrow, hopefully we'll do well. CSEA as well. Hopefully we can come to some closure before the end of the school year. And that's, I think, what we all want, or in my opinion, what we want to complete. and move forward as a district.
Well, as for me, the reason why I'm tabling this is because I asked for information regarding this item, and I did not receive it. So in order to make an intelligent decision here, I want to see that information before I make a decision. I'm open to everything, however, I want to see the information I requested.
So, a motion on the floor.
Motion on the floor to table. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in. I did.
You motioned.
I mean, it was Romero.
I think
sorry.
Mr. Romero.
Romero. Voting in favor of this item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. to table this item. M9, resolution authorizing contract pursuant to the National Cooperative Purchasing Alliances Program to ensure the purchase of products of the highest quality at the lowest price.
Move we approve.
Moved by Romero, second by Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Oh, it's a resolution.
What's that?
It's a resolution.
Oh, it's a resolution, it's a roll call. Romero?
Yes.
Calderon?
Yes.
Yes.
Castillo? Alvarado?
Yes.
Calderon Jr.? Yes. Motion passes. M10, resolution, delegation of authority to pay, sign proper legal bills, billing invoices, and orders under specific limitation.
I was looking at this, and I don't see where it states that all travel has to be approved by us. Did you see that?
So we're talking about out-of-county, state travel? What was it?
All, well, actually, not travel, conferences.
Out-of-state?
Even here.
With all
I sent a couple of emails, Maria. I sent a couple of emails, and because it doesn't make any sense to me, it does not make any sense that conferences are being approved left and right. Yet when we have a student travel, the first thing that they say is no, because there's no money. So if we're gonna do it for one, we have to do it for everybody else. So we are not gonna pick and choose who we let go on conferences or travel. That's what I'm saying.
I understand that, Mr. Calderon, but with all due respect, I believe at the last board meeting when this was being discussed, I was not given a board consensus that all travel needed to be on this order.
Yeah, I don't think I'd agree with travel or conference. Ed code requires out-of-state travel, be
Yes.
approved by board.
That is correct.
In-state, it's up to the administration. I think in Ed code, for California,
Let them do whatever they want then.
So where are we? What's our direction?
What do you want? Do you have any concerns? Mr. Romero, you look.
No, but I think if Mr. Calderon wants to also approve in-state travel, I think we should give it a try too. I mean, what he's asking for is that any travel within the state be approved by the board. Is that asking too much?
I think it would slow things down.
What?
I think it would slow things down.
It would?
Personally, I think things come up pretty quickly sometimes, meetings, emergency meetings, county office in San Diego, from my experience. And if we have to wait till 2 weeks for the next board meeting, we may lose those opportunities.
Or lose seats.
Or seats. Sometimes the seats fill up quickly.
Well, we just approved a trip to Missouri, and that is in August. So if everyone does their homework, I don't think we should have a problem. And I think in the resolution, it actually talks about emergency situations where Maria can make that decision. So
I suggest we just keep it clean and just leave it out there and try it. This is a trial basis.
well, I think we're only doing this for 6 months, and
Exactly.
maybe we should include it.
I think on a trial, since it is a trial basis, it should be included. If it's an emergency, like you said, going to San Diego, I think the board president can approve it. And I have to wait till the full board to look at it. This is a trial basis only.
I just think it's getting complicated now, and we're doing it, but we're giving some.
Emergency basis, like you said, there's an emergency meeting in San Diego. Okay, that qualifies. But whenever you have any in-state travel, a lot of times you know ahead of time when that has to be done.
Yeah, in many cases, in other cases no. I would suggest just leave it out.
Okay. We got requests to talk by Ms. Ambriz.
I would encourage our board to allow us to continue to allow our administration, in particular our Ed Services Department, Ms. Ramirez, she's the one who handles all of our travel for professional development. I would encourage our board to allow us to continue to do that. And if you would allow me to email you when a particular trip comes up. For example, we have the AVID training that's coming up at the end of June, and I think there's a group that may be going in August as well, and early August. Some of these trips, yes, we can, like you said, the Missouri trip, they can be planned out in advance. Some are not, and I would just think that if we can keep you informed as a board, via email. If you have a serious issue with that travel, then we can speak about it. I just would urge our board to have the trust in our administration that we are leading our district and that we are going, that we are here in the best interest of our staff and our students. That's really what I would have to say that I need to advocate on behalf of our team, with all due respect.
Okay, I'm flexible, and I can go with that.
I can also go with that too. That you would email us, and in the event that one of our trustees has an issue with it, we can bring it back to the board and discuss it.
And again, I think our superintendent and administrators here have heard our concern, and will communicate.
Yeah. I think we should give them that opportunity.
I agree. I move that we approve this resolution.
With that stipulation that she would email us?
Yes.
With the stipulation that you would email us whenever these trips are coming up, and in the event that one of us has a issue with it or concerns, then we can bring it back. Is everyone good? Okay. I'll second that. This is a roll call. So Romero?
Yes.
Calderon?
No.
Castillo?
Yes.
Alvarado?
Yes.
Calderon Jr., yes. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Castillo, Alvarado, Calderon Jr. Opposed is Calderon. M11, denial of claim, Ms. Marisol Gomez versus CUSD.
Ms. Gomez is a crossing, one of our crossing guards near Willie Moreno Junior High School. While she was on duty a few weeks ago, one of the students, or some students, were throwing rocks, and her car is usually parked near the Jack in the Box or the service station that's on Willie Moreno, across the street from Willie Moreno property, and we did determine that the students were a part of it, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Did I get?
No.
All right.
Huh?
My? Okay.
Well, when I did a gender review, what changed?
I wasn't here to gender review.
They raised.
I was, that's why I'm asking.
And I was giving you information based on that.
In a gender review. Okay, so when I read the claim, and because I was on vacation. And when I read the claim, this incident took place off of our campus at the Chevron gas station, and it was after school hours. So that's why I made the recommendation to deny this claim.
We're talking about a cross lady, correct?
Correct.
So her work site, even though she represents the school district, is on the highway. I think it was 98. So whether it happened at the AM, PM, or the Chevron, and she was very adamant on how she described the kids and named the kids, in fact, in her
I've seen a
complaint.
police report.
Yeah, the police report also, so.
Correct.
And one of the reasons, I'm sorry, that I had recommended that we actually accept the claim is, well, number one, it was under the threshold of the $500, and number two, even though it was after school and it was off of school property, this young lady or this woman carries the equipment for the crossing guard in her vehicle to and from, and so that's why she parks her car there. And that's why it was recommended that because she was in the execution of her duties when the windshield was broken by students. That's why.
Okay, thank
Well,
you. And I guess my recommendation was based on, it didn't happen on campus, and I just caution the board, when you accept claims like this, then you can set precedents to also accept future claims for incidences that don't happen on campus or after hours too.
Well, she was doing her job when these kids broke her windshield. So she was there as a cross lady. So my motion is to approve this item.
To approve the
claim.
I will second that.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Voting in favor of this item, Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. M12, designation of CIF representatives to league.
And this is just to designate Mrs. Williams, the principal of the high school, and Mr. Chris Lopez, the athletic director, as the CIF representatives for Calexico High School at our CIF
I'll move to approve.
organization.
Second by Calderon. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Most voting in favor of this item is Romero, Calderon, Castillo, Alvarado, and Calderon Jr. M13, we're going to have to.
Have to go back.
So we're going to go to N, reconvene to earlier closed session.
Aye.
Thank you.